Why we target you. When we set our sights on acquiring our appliances to fuel us, it stands to reason that we dedicate the greatest amount of time to the person who is going to be our primary source of fuel. Of course, the amount of time dedicated to this depends on the relevant narcissist, but all of our kind are looking for certain traits which are prevalent to empathic individuals. There are certain core traits which exist in empathic individuals. Normal people will have some of these traits, probably not all, and they will not have the traits to the extent and degree of an empathic person. Thus, this is why normal people are rarely made our primary sources. There are also traits which are known as class traits. These are the traits which appeal to the relevant cadre of narcissist, be that person a victim, somatic, cerebral, or elite narcissist. The core traits are hugely important to us. Their existence provides us with the three key elements that we take from our victims. Firstly, these traits mean that the fuel provision will be high because of their connection to the emotional output from the victim. Secondly, there are certain residual benefits that come from these traits which we want. Thirdly, by attaching ourselves to somebody who has these traits, we can pretend we have them too. We do not have these traits. Therefore, we want to take them from you to apply to our construct and pass them off as belonging to us. Since we are experts at copying, we do not have these traits for ourselves, and we do not feel them, but we are able to replicate what they look like. And we do this by studying how you behave, because you have these traits. We then apply this to our own behavior in order to maintain the facade. This fools other people into thinking that we are honest, decent, and loving. It also enables us to mirror your traits and reflect them back at you so that you think we have them as well. This makes us all the more appealing to you and ensures that you are bound closer to us. Accordingly, identifying these core traits in our victims is extremely important. The more of these traits that you have, the better. The more of these traits that you have, the greater the likelihood of being ensnared by our kind. A combination of the core traits and the class traits appearing in the way you behave and act draws our kind to you. We sense and see these traits and lock our sights on you as a prospective primary source. There are 10 of these core traits. The ideal is to find a victim who has all 10 core traits and exhibits them to a considerable degree. We would then also want them to exhibit the relevant class traits which match the type of narcissist that we are. The lesser narcissist is unaware of these traits, but, like a hungry wolf sniffing out food, he can sense the existence of these traits and know that the person exhibiting them is somebody he wants with him. The mid-range narcissist recognizes these traits as admirable traits for a person to have. He sees them as plus points, in the same way as someone might regard someone who is interested in art, travel, and classical music as a good match to start dating. The mid-range narcissist knows that he values these traits, but he does not know the fundamental reason why he is drawn to them. The greater narcissist knows what these traits are and why they are important to us. He knows the function that they play. He knows better than anybody else how to detect them and the places where, the hunting grounds, people can be found who will have these core traits and also the class traits. The greater can sniff out the existence of these traits and match the target to them before moving in to ensnare that person. So, what are these traits? Well, here are 5 of the 10 by way of example. It is highly likely that you will have all 5 of these traits, and you will have them in significant amounts, because that is why you were ensnared by a narcissist to begin with. 1. Love devotee. We require our targets to be committed to the concept of love. You want to find love, experience love, love and be loved. The idea of love is central to your existence, and you truly believe that our purpose on this earth is to love others. Not only does this mean loving those around, but above all else, you believe in the fulfillment that arises from having that one special person who you are committed to, who you will do anything for, and who you will make sacrifices for. The existence of love is a reason to you to exist. Therefore, you must find it. And once located, you must obtain it and maintain it. We want love devotees because your dedication to love often blinds you to so much else, and accordingly, by pretending to give you love, we can hook into this trait of yours, and it allows us to ensnare you all the more readily. Number 2, compassionate. Our target must exhibit compassion. This compassion must be mainly for us, although we are content for it to be exhibited for other people and objects such as animals, in order to detect it in the first place. If we identify that someone cares more about animals and things and not people, however, we do not consider that this fulfills our requirement. At an early juncture, if we see evidence of compassion for animals, it generally, but not always, follows that this person will be compassionate towards humans as well. Number 3, decent. We look for decent people, people who are well-mannered, polite, and understanding, people who have consideration for others, wait their turn in speaking, allowing others to take a slice of cake before anybody else, those that give to charity, and conduct him or herself in a dignified manner. Decency is an attractive trait because it tells us that you will adhere to certain standards, and that you also expect us to do the same. This matters because we know that this is often indicative of the fact that you are more likely to keep hold of us and to try to keep hold of us when the going gets rough. Number 4, moral compass. We prefer a person with a strong moral compass, somebody who would hand a wallet to the police with the contents intact if they found such an item in the street, or they would alert the shop assistants if they were handed too much change. This person is monogamous and faithful and believes others should conduct themselves by a similar moral code. Again, this tells us that you are far more likely to hang in there once the evaluation starts, and our behavior will offend your moral compass, so there will be the accompanying emotional reaction, and thus copious fuel. Number 5, caring. An individual who will always look after somebody else, whether it is through working to provide for us, running the home in an excellent manner, looking after us when we are ill, and or being concerned about our well-being. The caring trait is very important, and must be evident in our primary source especially. Not only will this tell us that you will want to look after us, but it also signals to us that when we begin the devaluation of you, you will want to fix us and heal us. Therefore, you will keep plugging away, trying to do the right thing. It also tells us that we can expect considerable residual benefits from you in terms of you looking after us, which accords with our view of how you should be: subservient and obedient.